Investment Committee. We had minutes emailed out of the May 10th and May 15th meeting, and if everybody got a chance to review those, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Ely. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're going to start with the nonprofits, and we'll ask the representatives to come up one at a time. If they want to, accept or reject the mayor's recommendation, and we can discuss it if you reject, and then we'll take all these in one vote. And we'll start with child advocacy. And if you would please give your name for the record.
I'm Sharon DeVore. I'm the director of the Child Advocacy Center.
Thank you for being here.
They've got it. Yes.
Do I need to go with this first?
Let's start with this one.
Okay.
How are you?
Hi. Okay. So child advocacy, they currently have a budget of $7,000. They've asked for $10,000, and my recommendation was $7,000. So am I going to go through all of these before we talk about these few pieces of paper we've handed out here to them or not?
Well, it's up to you, because I'm not sure what the committee wishes.
Let me tell you this. For the most part, all of these, my recommendations are all the budget numbers that we currently have in place. And I don't know if you guys have had time to even review these pieces of paper here, but you haven't. But anyway, the same story is going to be told on all of them, Mr. Chairperson, in that since we've done this, we sort of have a broader view of our budget situation, and we think there's room for us to do something besides just hold them where they are. I mean, that's where we are. So now, I guess we'll start, for example, if you don't mind, bear with me and give me a little bit of grace here. You have 3 pages here, but let's look at the second page, for example.
At the back of the first.
Back of the first page, okay? And it says child advocacy.
Bear with us, Mr. Dorr, if you don't mind.
I'm good.
This may work out well for you.
It may have worked out well for all of them, depending on what this committee wants to do, of course. You can see there at child advocacy, the current budget is $7,000. They've asked for a $3,000 increase. Now, to simplify all of this, you have a couple of choices that I'm suggesting that we might consider for all of these people. And we'll have to have a little bit more conversation, but 5% of $7,000 is $350. So if we gave just a straight up 5% increase to all these folks, and this one in particular, that'd be $7,350. But I'm suggesting, as another alternative, it's 5% with a minimum of $1,000. So this particular recommendation, instead of 7,000, would be 8,000 in her case. So some of these are smaller numbers, some of these are bigger numbers, but everybody would get at least $1,000. So if you want us to, this is my revised kind of recommendation sheet, but it's up to you to decide if you think this is a reasonable approach to doing this.
Well, I'll just make a comment, I guess a bit, is 5% helps the rich get richer and the poor get poor.
However,
We do everything percentage, raises, all this is
Well, this
percentage.
$1,000 minimum will.
Well,
No,
that'll help some of
this
them.
particular would be that'd be a 15% increase.
This will help the ones with the lesser amount a
Than
lot
the one
more.
with
You'll
the
do
more.
just opposite of what you just mentioned.
And I think that's the reason I thought it would be more equitable to consider this approach.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if your new recommendations are going to be off this page, we can go through each
Yeah, and-
representative, then our motion will be at the end. But
Okay.
so your recommendation is going to transfer to what's on this new page, and that'll be what we work off of until it's time for a motion.
Yes.
If that's okay.
And maybe one thing for us to be thinking about for why this might be justified is we donated $100,000 for the Coos Memorial this last fiscal year, and that has been given, and so we've got that amount of money that's not committed for this upcoming fiscal year that could be used for some
Be
of these.
careful, we're on TV, somebody will come up with another idea. So, Mr. Mayor, your recommendation on this is $8,000.
$8,000.
Mr. Ford, do you accept the mayor's recommendation?
Absolutely.
Anything you'd like to, well, I mean, anything you'd like to add to that or anything, but
I just wanted to add that the Child Advocacy Center has been very grateful for the support that Rutherford County has given us for the last 18 years. You all have been a real blessing to us, and we're grateful for that. And we're going to miss you.
Well, I'm going to issue, but I'm sure I'm still getting those invitations in the mail.
Yes, you will. We're not taking you off the list.
well, thank you very much then.
Thank you.
We're going to move a little quickly through this long list where everybody won't be here all night, but next be the domestic violence program. Sorry, domestic violence program.
Karen Lampert, Executive Director of Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Services here in Rutherford County.
Thank you for being here with us tonight.
I'll take the opportunity.
Okay, so again, until we sort of get the routine of this going here, of course, the current is $60,660, and they asked for $65,000. My recommendation is a 5% increase, which would be $3,033. That would take them to $63,693.
Can we round these to like
So you can get, and Ms. Nolan can tell us what we need to round them to make it easier for our bookkeepers and finance people. So can we make that 63.7?
How much do you want it rounded to?
63.7, that's just.
63, okay.
Rounded, how about to the nearest?
$7 more. We can scrape up $7 more. And you accept the mayor's recommendation?
We do, thank you, we appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Gives us an opportunity to expand with the growth of the community and provide some wage increases to our staff, which is very much needed.
And we will, I mean, it's been a few years now, but we basically are supporting at least one full-time position, I think. Is that right?
Yes,
That was the
yes.
intent initially, yeah.
Yes, so what we use county funding for is for our court advocacy program. So within that program, we actually have 4 full-time staff, and they concentrate on working with victims for orders of protection. And we've seen an increase in those numbers because the state instituted a new law where police officers could initiate those orders. So now we have 24/7 access to staff, so victims who are wanting to pursue an order of protection can contact us at any point to facilitate that process.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. We'll move on to
Did
exchange.
you ask her if she accepted my
I
recommendation?
think I did.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Exchange Club Family Center. Welcome.
I'm Audrey Sharon. I'm the Redford County Regional Manager of the Family Center.
Okay, again, currently they're at $25,000. They asked for $27,000, and with the 5% that I'm now recommending, be $26,250 is the recommendation.
Do you accept the mayor's recommendation?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being
We
here.
appreciate each of y'all.
Laverne Senior Citizens.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Ramsey, Senior Coordinator of the Laverne Senior Center.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, they're at $46,200 with a request for an additional $5,000. My recommendation is an additional $2,310, or for a total of $48,510. That is the recommendation.
Are you okay with the mayor's recommendation?
Yes, sir. And thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all's money so much. It helps us because of you guys. We don't have to charge membership fees, and just everything we do, y'all's money helps us so much, and our seniors are very happy, so thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Mid-Cumberland Human Resource.
Deborah Holmes, the Director of Home and Community-Based Services for Mid-Cumberland.
Welcome.
Okay, there are about 6 different pieces to this.
Yes.
Mid-Cumberland. Of course, their dues are really just, it's a recommendation, but that's what they are because it's a consistent dues process for all of their, 13 counties, several counties.
Yep, 11
All right,
cents
so
per capita.
I'll go over these, all 6 of them, and then she can respond to them individually if she chooses, I suppose. But dues are $28,887, so that's no change there. Meals on Wheels, $36,000 currently. They requested $9,000 additional. So I'm recommending, again, the same 5% process, which would be $37,800 would be the recommendation on Meals on Wheels. Transportation, they didn't ask for anything there, and I'm recommending a continuation of $5,000. Homemaker, $4,000, and they've asked for $2,000 more, but the recommendation would be $4,200. Now, Mrs. Nolan,
Yeah, or is it 1,000? Should that be?
that'd be $4,200.
Well, yes,
Or you gonna do
unless, is
minimum
it the
of 1,000?
minimum?
Oh, I'm
Should
sorry.
be 5,000.
Okay, I was off track there a little bit. Thank you for getting me back. So that really should be,
5,000.
that'd be $5,000 on that particular line item. And the ombudsman is a new addition. And when you're going to have to decide what to do with the new request. There are 6 or 7 completely new requests, and I don't have a recommendation, but if you guys will have to choose if you want to.
They've always requested that. We've never chosen to fund it.
Okay, never, okay. So that one will be a 0 there then. And on the youth can, we've been funding that at $3,000. They've asked for $10,000, but again, I think we should apply the same principle consistently. So the recommendation would be for $4,000. And that's all of those within the Mid-Cumberland HRA.
Are you okay with the mayor's recommendation?
Absolutely.
I do have one question. The Meals on Wheels increase was a pretty significant request. Talk to me about that a little bit.
We currently have a waiting list of 38 individuals, and so we've also applied for additional grant funding and foundation funding, so to try to bring us down to less than 15 in our wait list, which is kind of what our average is across most counties. So that was the reason for the increase. So what we asked for would have funded around 10,000 meals here in Rutherford County. Obviously, whatever we receive will fund more. It just won't help us get as far on the wait list.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Appreciate all the work you do. Pregnancy Support Center.
Hello, I'm Laura Messick. I'm the director of Portico.
Well,
And Portico has $4,000, and they've asked for $1,000 more. And we're actually going to recommend the same thing you asked for here with this $1,000 minimum coming into play. That's my recommendation.
you okay with the mayor's recommendation?
Thank you very much. Appreciate all y'all do for us. More than this.
Appreciate all the work you do.
Thank you.
Read to Succeed.
Good evening. I'm Jolene Rednatty, Executive Director for Read to Succeed.
Okay. Currently $6,000. They've requested an additional $4,000. With the process we're discussing, that will take them to $7,000.
We will accept, and we thank you very much. Good luck to you, and we can always use you as a tutor.
I've developed pretty good reading skills since I
Thank you.
Vicki downstairs will give you a cell number now.
Okay. Thank you.
Relax and Ride.
Relax and Ride, that's this business that we have with the Regional Transportation Authority, so
Just carry it through for
that's
contract.
carried through, yeah, contractually, $49,220. There's no change there.
Primary Care and Hope Clinic. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Cindy Ray. I'm the Director of Development and Compliance at the Primary Care and Health Clinic.
And currently, well, I hear you're gonna get an extra point or two. It looks like $52,500. They didn't ask for an increase, but Lisa and myself, in our wisdom, we've decided they're deserving of this just like the other people have. So we're gonna give them an increase of $2,625, which would be $55,125.
I think you're okay with the mayor and treasurer.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We appreciate all that you do for us.
Thank you. St. Clair Senior Center. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Connie Rigsby. I'm the director at St. Clair Street Senior Center.
And St. Clair Streets, they're at $162,750. They asked for an additional $2,250, but we're recommending that we take them to,
17900.
they get an additional 5%, which would be $170,888. Now, they haven't, if I recall correctly, they haven't asked us for an increase in a while, so this will be the first one maybe in the last few years that there has been an increase for you people, I believe.
We've had an increase of about 784 new participants in the last year. And so processing those folks, a lot of folks coming into the aging programs. So we've been excited to serve them.
Ms. Pellet's recommending around that 17900.
Okay.
And a lot of these organizations have really heeded our urging over the years not to ask too much, but we have very strict budget constraints. So I think we're doing the right thing. Look at all these evenly, even though some of them haven't asked for more, because you're kind of trying to be good stewards of the tax dollars and not come back for too much. So we do appreciate you not being too aggressive. And I hope we don't say, we didn't ask for anything, we're not going to give you anything, because all these organizations need every penny they can get.
Absolutely. And I do accept. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good luck. Enjoy it.
Smyrna Senior Citizens. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Fran Dunn. I'm the Executive Director at the Smyrna Senior Center.
Currently at $47,250. They've asked for $2,750, and they're just sitting right at the bubble there. Anyway, they're with the 5%, they get a $2,363 increase to $49,613. But Ms. Nolan will want us to round that off to $49,600.
Well, let's round it up.
625.
Yeah, let's round it up. Let's not
Round it up. Well, let's
Round it
let's
down,
make
you're
it-
gonna get
Make it 20. We don't want a 5.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. We accept, and I just want to say to you, Mayor Burgess, we appreciate you coming to our open house on May 1st. And our board of directors has authorized me to offer you and your wife an honorary membership.
Lifetime membership. Well, listen, you may really actually be one of the reasons I've decided to sort of make this recommendation. I mean, she gave an outstanding report about how many new members they have. It's really remarkable. So they're doing a great job. All of these senior citizen people are.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Special kids. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Deanne Starling. I'm the foundation specialist with Special Kids.
Welcome.
All right, special kids is at $4,000. They asked for an additional $1,000, and that's what they'll get even with this new approach and this new recommendation, or $5,000.
Thank you very much.
I take it you're okay with that, Rick?
We accept that. Thank you very much, and thank you for all your support over the years. And Special Kids is celebrating our 20th anniversary this year in August. And we've been able to serve over 4,300 children since then. And we'd like to invite you all to come to our 20th celebration. It's August the 18th. It'll be at Northside Baptist Church. And we're having a carnival and a concert. And we would love to see you all there. Thank you so much for your support.
Well, thank you for what you are doing for these people that really need your services. It's remarkable. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Amari House.
Approved. We got one more. Get some more.
Got a few more.
We're still going.
We're coming along.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you all. Goodness, I'm Tanya Hobbs. I'm the Executive Director at Amari House.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
The only director they've ever had, is that right?
That would be correct.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
A few years.
Yes, sir.
Gamari House asked for 30, they have 3,500, they asked for an additional 1,500 with the process we have in place, they'll get an additional 1,000, and that would take them up to 4,500. That's the recommendation.
You accept the mayor's recommendation?
Gratefully, indeed. Thank you so much. We appreciate all your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Transit Alliance, that's a pass, set amount is.
That's the same amount we've been doing for
Joanne Grace is here.
Oh, you're here, okay. Well, no.
Talked to her this afternoon, so I knew she was going to be.
I'm not gonna slide, I apologize. I thought it was.
Came this far, certainly need to get on TV.
You know, all that traffic.
Well,
Welcome, Joanne Graves. I'm the president and CEO of the Transit Alliance.
And they've asked for 3,500 to be continued, so that's the recommendation here.
you're okay with the mayor's recommendation?
I'm always okay with the mayor's recommendation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
All right.
Salvation Army. Good evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Major Joseph Irvin. I am your Corps Officer of the Local Salvation Army.
Brett Mitchell, the Director of Development.
Well, I think last time was our first time to support the Salvation Army with 2,500. They've asked for an additional $1,000, and believe it or not, this formula works. So the recommendation is for 3,500.
Thank you, gentlemen, we're okay with that.
Much appreciated.
Thank you for being here, appreciate everything you do.
Pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
Boys and Girls Club. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Beth Hackett, and I'm the Resource Development Director.
Well,
And last year was our first support year for Boys and Girls Club at 2,500. They've asked for an additional 2,500, which I'm sure all of these deserve even more. But with the process that we put in place, the recommendation is for 3,500.
you okay with the mayor's recommendation?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very
That's
much.
all.
That's all. You could ask for more, but I guess
I'll save.
maybe for next time. All right.
Wish you well.
Hey, are we doing Motlow now? Motlow's? Motlow
Lowe's,
State.
yeah.
They're representing here from Motlow? That's something
It's
we've
a-
already
I
agreed
don't
It's
on.
think
an
there will
agreement.
be. That's a 3-year agreement that we made last year, so that's just listed on here.
Will this be the second year?
This will be the second year.
That's all on that line item, is it not?
No, we're not
Community
community
helpers.
helpers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it.
We're here.
Community helpers.
Community helpers.
Oh,
I marked the wrong one off. I apologize. You have to correct me for your record. Good evening.
Good evening, I'm Lavinia Greer, the Executive Director.
Okay, last year was their first year again as well. At 2,500, they asked for an additional 2,500, but we're working through this process. It'll be an additional $1,000 recommended at, or 3,500.
Every little bit helps.
You're okay with the
We'll
mayor's
accept,
recommendation?
yes.
Can I ask her a question? Just, can you give us, well, maybe not all of them, but at least me, a little insight as to what you actually did?
We provide emergency services for utilities, rent, and medication for low-income vulnerable population. We served over 3,000 people last year. This past year, in January and February, with the colder weather, we doubled the amount of utility assistance than we had ever provided. It was like $30,000 we provided assistance in the month of January and February. And mostly, we deal a lot with the disabled population and elderly. 40% is the elderly and disabled population that we serve.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the mayor's recommendation in total is $722,512. 722,512.
That's all of account number $56,900. Is there a motion on this or discussion?
I have a question. There are several that they submitted requests. We hadn't funded them previously. Were we just making the decision to not accept new requests, or?
Well, I mean, that's your decision. I don't think that is mine, okay? But
Well,
thought-
I just saw you did make a recommendation for
I
any
did
of
make a
those.
recommendation because I really felt like that this is sort of something we need to discuss. How many more can we continue to put on? All of these are noteworthy and important agencies, no question about it. Very active in our county. But you can see there's what, about $20,000 there. If you want to start with these people,
We have more or less communicated we weren't taking new requests in the past, have we not? Which might have discouraged other very worthy organizations from.
and we've taken 2 or 3 along year by year, okay? So I'm not saying it's inappropriate in the scheme of what we're doing. This is probably a good thing if we could support these folks. Maybe you don't start at 2,500. That's the most you can start at by your own resolution made some years ago.
Do we know if any of those folks came to plead their case?
I don't know. Do you? Well, yeah, I know.
I got this to the one the mayor had recommended.
The only comment that I would make is how painful it is in tight budget years when we had to tell them no.
Right.
And start cutting.
Right.
That's very hurtful.
Well, I was just surprised, look, some of the ones are names that I recognize that I guess I just was sort of surprised we hadn't supported, like the Greenhouse Ministries. That's one that I just would have assumed we always had. So when I saw that there and then I saw zeros, I'm like, it just made me question, you know, why are we where we are? So, yeah, I'm not making a motion on that. I just wanted to know.
Mr. Chairman, I know over the years, as many of us have been on this committee and worked through many budget processes, we have had representatives to come up and tell us their mission statement, the services that they provide for so many of the needy. And all of these agencies are worthwhile. And I dare say that all of us wish we could do more. I think the one thing that I would say as a private citizen in a few more months is if we, those of us in this room, but those also listening on Channel 19, would partner with county government and as private citizens look for opportunities to volunteer, giving time, energy, and our money. Then as our county grows and the needs grow with it, we can assure that these services are provided. And I know every year when we get to this part of the budget, it tugs at our heartstrings, I know.
Absolutely. Was there a motion in there anyway?
And I appreciate what the mayor has done and has with this extra 5%. Yes, I would be delighted to make a motion to accept the mayor's recommendation.
Second from Commissioner Peete. Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. I'll just say myself, the amount of community service in this room, it gets to me every year, just as Commissioner Ely just said, the amount of community service in this room and the amount of good done by these organizations presented here tonight is very humbling. And a lot of people are sitting at home, and exactly like Commissioner Ely said, if you're thinking about a way to get involved, come to these organizations and offer to step up and give a little bit of your time or funds. But this group in this room makes a huge difference in the quality of life of so many people in this community. And I want for the community to be without this group. You guys are more than welcome to stay to the rest of the civics lesson here.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
We might take just a second while they walk out of the room.
But go to the front page. Where are you? The next one is,
Page you gave? Oh,
the page I gave you to continue on. That's 55510-316, I think is the next one. Fire and rescue is a dues thing. And that You already took care of that when you spoke to them.
We're ready for the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center, 55510. Representative,
We'll let her speak from the floor to back there so she doesn't have to crawl
I'm
up
coming.
here. Can you make it?
I'm getting there. This is the
Oh my
first
God,
time I've had to do this, so I'm kind of getting the hang of it.
That's out of your way. Which way you
Yeah,
coming?
it's all
Up
right.
there?
I'll come right
That's
here.
your foot.
There we go.
Okay.
Hi, Pam Furlong with Tennessee Rehabilitation Center, and I manage the facility here in Murfreesboro.
appreciate you being here tonight.
You've been here with us a little while now, haven't you? All right, so we have a little bit of the same process on some of these on this page here. The Rehab Center, which we've been a long time partner with them, are at $55,000. That's all they've asked for. But I'm recommending $57,750.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Think you can make use of that?
I do, you know, that light bill of mine,
Yeah.
you know, that was an issue a couple of years ago. Yes, thank you, I do appreciate it.
We do appreciate you being here.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, good luck.
That's the only one in that line.
Oh, we're doing it one at a time now.
Backing up.
Entertain a motion on this?
Backing up. Backing up.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Commissioner Haley.
Second.
Commissioner Baum. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Journeys in Community Living. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm George Cunningham. I'm Executive Director at Journeys in Community Living, a program supporting adults with intellectual disabilities.
And they're at $36,000. They didn't ask for an increase, but some of us in here know they've had some changes in their reimbursement processes, and I believe certainly they deserve another $5,000, making the recommendation of $37,800.
You accept the mayor's recommendation?
Yes, we accept that. And thank you all, and thank you, Mayor.
Do we have to have a separate?
Yes.
So on the wishes of the committee, thank you.
Or maybe, do you have a motion?
No?
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I thought you did.
Mr. Baum, Commissioner Schaefer, any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Here are the next five.
Ready for tourism, we'll take the next five. We'll start with the Heritage Center.
Flip back to the sheet earlier. It's on the bottom.
Good evening.
Good evening. Lydia Simpson, I'm the Programs Manager for the Center for Historic Preservation, and we operate the Heritage Center in Rutherford County.
And we've been partnering with them for a long time.
Long time,
It may have-
2006,
I think
I
it
believe.
started about $15,000, but we're all the way up to $15,750 now, right?
Right.
So it hasn't, anyway, the recommendation is to add $1,000 to that. $16,750 is the recommendation.
Accept.
We appreciate you accepting.
Thank you very much.
Motion to approve.
Well, we're going to take these next five.
Tourism category.
Main Street. Good evening.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Herzog. I'm the director of Main Street.
Yes, ma'am.
And Main Street currently at $26,250. If we use our single weather process, 5% would put them to $27,563. So
27,600, is that what you said?
$27,600, I
Yeah, I
believe.
thought that's what he said.
What we recommend this time.
Sir, are you okay with the mayor's
Yes, sir.
recommendation? We appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hope Funds. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm James Manning, the Executive Director of Oaklands. I see we've got several members of Oaklands around the board. Thank y'all for that.
And we may have just started you last year at 10,000, I'm not sure, but you're at 10,000, they've asked for 2,500, but in our scheme of process here, the recommendation is $11,000.
Yes, sir. We'll be very appreciative and be glad to accept that.
Questions, Mr. Manning?
Make a motion to approve.
Hey, one more.
We got one more.
Just one more.
Okay. Or actually two more.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Sam Davis home. Good evening.
Hello. Tiffany Johnson, Executive Director at the Sam Davis Home.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
And they came along about the same time as Oakland's at $10,000. They didn't ask for any increase, but in the scheme of equity, we're recommending $11,000.
Thank you, Bree.
On those five?
Yes.
We got
Well, and
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
That's the one. We shifted him around.
All right, I didn't see
He's
it.
the very first. We shifted him around, so he's on the next
And
item
I
also.
was trying to get directed
It's
here to it,
okay.
but you accept the mayor's
We do,
recommendation.
and thank you very much.
Thank you for everything you do. Okay, we're down to Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Latour.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Welcome.
Paul Latour, President of the Chamber.
And this particular line is 15% of the hotel motel tax that we get. So it's calculated, if we get more, they get more, if we get less,
That's
they
an
get less.
automatic number.
It's an
It's automatic number.
That's our budget
So-
projection. 700,500.
And so all that adds together for the line, 766,850. 766,850.
Paul, I take it you're okay with the number?
Yes, sir. We hope to get more.
All right. Hank,
I'll
keep
make
your
more
seat-
for everybody.
Keep your seat there, and we'll have your video next on the agenda, too.
Yes, sir.
Well, the wishes of the committee.
Much different.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Jernigan, Commissioner
I just
Bond.
want to disclose that I serve on the Oakland's Historic Homes Board.
Well, we appreciate you doing that. I don't think that's any kind of conflict whatsoever.
I don't serve on it, and I have no problem with it.
All those in favor say aye.
I get a
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry.
Center for the Arts, I just would like to talk to them about them. And, you know, we don't have them on, the Center for the Arts.
Well, they're in
And they-
the same group with these other 5 or 6. that-
Yeah, and that's just, they've kicked around for a long time. And when I say that, they used to be, well, we used to have a board member on here, and so did the city. And then they went out and struck out on their own, and they're still in the same building over here. And they kept it going with their own entourage. And this, and, well, maybe not this year, but I would like to really consider them in the future, because I think they do a good thing, and so often it's the people in this town and county that are on, take part in their plays and this, and you know, it's a pretty enjoyable thing. I think it's a good thing for the community as a whole, for the whole county, and it's just why I'm bringing it up. I'm not going to say let's add them, but I would like to just keep it in. I know a lot of us aren't going to be around next year to push them, and it kind of makes me wonder with the ones that come on to replace us next year, what is going to happen to all this anyhow.
Absolutely. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Destination Rutherford and Economic Development Council. Mr. Latour, I believe that's yours.
Yes, sir.
Back on the front page then.
It's on the third page. 135,000 is
That was our commitment.
the economic, Chamber of Economic Development, that's the county's part. See, it hasn't changed.
So those two numbers are the same numbers that we've had previously.
135 and 96.5, both those numbers?
Yes.
You okay with those numbers?
Yes, sir.
Well, the wishes of the committee.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Bond. Questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Have a good
it.
evening.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the work your group does over there.
I like this, Mr. Latour, just a question, he may not know it off the top of his head.
Yes, sir.
How much has tourism increased in the past year? You know, when we raised the motel tax, it was going to be the end of the world for this county. And I know the drive from where I live to down here has gotten a lot longer, so that means there's a lot more people around. I don't think they all live here. But how's tourism done?
It's very robust. I don't have an exact figure, but we were up over last year according to the state of Tennessee's numbers that we get every year. And we're number 9 in the state of Tennessee for tourism impact, about $331 million. But I think Also, what's driving up the taxes, the fact that we've got newer hotels that are getting more of a premium for their rooms. And not only tourists, but business travelers, and so all that combined, I think you're seeing a... Yes, sir.
And this week, Spring Fling.
Well, yeah, there's Spring Fling starts tomorrow, actually, so we have been busy at the office. That's why you don't see our tourism staff here, but we're excited about this week. It's our Super Bowl week, so it's busy.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Oh, you have a good evening.
You too, thanks.
Ready for the highway fund. And our finance director is going to retrieve the representatives. These be on tabs 9 and 10. Who do we come wake you up at the time?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Behind page tab 9. Welcome, Ms. Brooks.
Good evening.
I'll just do a summary. Total revenue, $11,960,529. Appropriations, $11,681,546. This is coming from their board. Their revenues exceed their appropriations by $278,983. Their estimated per budget, their fund balance is $13,210,132, but this increase will end the year at $13,489,115. Ms. Brooks, anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, that sums it up. Does anybody have any questions?
For years and years, we've always adopted, at least in the past, one that was out of balance, and just figure we make it through. So I appreciate one coming in that's actually showing in the black to start with.
Well, I've got a lot of good help.
This adds two positions.
This does add 2 new positions. It takes us from 65 to 67.
Mr. Mayor, anything you need to add?
No, sir.
This has all been approved by the road board, just for the public to know.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
The mayor does not.
I know the mayor, that's why it is.
So we're in good shape, even though we've got fuel prices bouncing around on this.
That's always concerning, but our collections this year have been good, and we hopefully they'll level out, and as we move forward to this coming year, we won't get any dramatic price swings that cause us to people will quit consuming as much if it goes up too high. So that will have an impact. Hopefully that won't happen.
This year, the new gas tax that went in, it brings some money back down to the county.
It does indeed. Yes, it does.
I was going to ask about that. Can you talk about the Improve Act a little bit and the impact that that's had on your funding?
Well, currently it's coming in about 3 months in arrears. So, and it started July 1, so we don't have a good history of what it's going to be yet. All we really have is projections, and it will always be somewhat of a moving target because of consumption. That's but I will say that as new taxes go, this is good for the highway departments, and it's good for the community in the county because it not only do the residents pay it, but the motoring public, anybody passing through, commerce, tourism, everybody coming through.
It's a user tax if you
It's
use
a
the
user
road.
tax, right? So it's a good way. It's a good way to kind of balance it out, and it doesn't put the entire burden on citizens of this community and county.
The revenue that's collected in Rutherford County that would come back to, is that how they do it by county, I'm assuming?
That's correct.
Okay. So is that shared with the cities, or does that come straight just to the county, or how does that work?
Well, out of the 95 counties,
all of the cities get allocations just like all of the
correct.
counties. It's all pro rata done by population base, I think.
It's population and land area.
So it's not if I bought my gas in Murfreesboro versus if I bought it in Laverne, that's...
No, that has nothing to do with it. It all goes to the state and then they disperse it.
Part of the reason why I asked is because I know we're talking about updating our major thoroughfare plan, and I know Murfreesboro has and Smyrna has.
Smyrna has,
And
correct.
so we're going to need to be partnering with the cities on some road projects and especially with all the schools, I think, talked about that already a little bit because that's been one of the big issues is that we've not factored in road improvements sufficiently to plan for the kind of development that a school brings to a community. And so that's why I was just thinking sort of out loud about how's that work, how's that going to work.
Well, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's really difficult because currently we have close to 976 miles of county road. So call it 1,000 miles of county road that we're responsible for maintaining. Not just the surface of the road, but we have to keep the bush hogging done. We have to keep the culverts replaced, and it's a big operation. It's a big operation. It takes a lot of dedicated people to make it happen. So if the highway department were to make all of those improvements that you're talking about when a new school comes, who's going to do what we do now? That's the problem we run into. But I will say that as long as I've been road superintendent, when we see a new school coming, online, of course, I'm at the planning meetings and that kind of thing, so I'm kind of aware of what's being talked about and what's being discussed. We do try to evaluate the roads surrounding the campus and factor that into the decisions we've already made about what the priorities are. There's a lot of things taken into consideration. There's average daily traffic count, there's amount of accidents, there's just a number of things, the development that may be coming that we know about, new communities, whole new subdivisions that might mean anywhere from 30 rooftops to 500, and how many trips that generates.
And as I bring that up, it's not necessarily that I expect your department to fund all those improvements. Really, more than anything, I want you to have a voice at the table when we're talking about those things and say, I've assessed this is your current road situation. This is what it could cost to improve it. So if we need to factor that in and borrow that money as we're borrowing money for the school, I want to make sure that it's a comprehensive approach and we're not in situations that we have found ourselves in where we borrow the money for the school, all this development followed, and we didn't take care of the roads. Because that's been the number one complaint that I've heard about the Rocky Fork Road schools. They're thrilled to have those schools there. Those roads don't have shoulders. Those roads aren't wide enough, And so, and I know, there's a plan. We made some arrangements with Smyrna to make some road improvements, and they're building a new road. I want us all on the same page before we turn the first shovel of dirt on that next school. Everybody knows what their part of the responsibility is, and I guess I'm just looking to you for some guidance on really giving us that feedback, because I feel like that's been a neglected part of the conversation, is what needs to happen to improve those roads to support those schools.
Well, and that is definitely a mistake, and I'll be happy to do what I can to share my input.
Right.
And I know Mike Hughes, our county engineer, he's a well of information on that kind of thing, and Matthew Fezzik, our public works engineer, is also very good at it. So I would definitely seek their guidance as well. Sure would.
Thank you.
Back to the budget at hand. Do we have a motion on the road and bridge fund?
Motion to approve this.
Thank you, Commissioner Peete.
Second.
Commissioner Allen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
What
Thank
is
you,
the
Lon.
bridge that y'all are doing? The bridge?
Gucci Ford.
Gucci.
If you named it for Trey Gooch, you spelled it wrong.
Appreciate y'all
It's not
being
named
there.
after
Appreciate you bringing your assistant, Mr. Manning, with you.
Thank you guys for all you do. I know it's difficult.
Tab 3,
See you tomorrow night.
Solid Waste Sanitation Fund. Mr. Knowles.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine, how about yourself?
Overall, the revenue estimate is $4,999,200. Appropriations, $5,250,480. Our revenues are under our appropriations by $1,151,000. Estimating fund balance at the end of the year, based on our budget, is $6,200,000. $698,583. This would drop it to $5,547,303. If you wanted to balance this budget, you would need about 1 1/3 pennies.
Mayor, you make a recommendation on this one, do you not?
Yes, sir.
On tab 4.
First on 55720, the sanitation education, and that is our recycling education coordinator and litter pickup drivers, etc. So this budget has really, he bought a couple of vans last year, so that was $50,000 amended up to $70,000, but he's only got $6,000 in here. That $6,000 I need to change that to $9,000 because we've taken bids on a trailer that he's going to need, and the lowest bid was just a little under $9,000. So the recommendation is $203,587.
We want to vote on these individually or take these all as one vote?
However you want to do it.
No objection, we'll take all the solid waste stuff as one vote. If anybody has anything they want to pull out, just say so. Move on to convenience centers, 55732.
Okay. Well, first thing I'll do is read off the recommendation. It's $3,036,582, which is up from an original budget of $2,567,000 current year. So let's sort of go down through this a little bit here. First item of significance is line item 147. Those are our truck drivers, and we've had a couple of open positions. I think most of the year we're having a really hard time finding drivers. And Mr. Nolan himself is getting tired of driving a truck, I think, a little bit. But anyway, we've made a reasonable effort to improve the pay that we're giving these truck drivers, and that's the reason that line item is up as much as it is there. And let's see. The next line item is 149. We will tell you that's our convenience center operators, the people that are out there every day. There's only a couple of people in there full-time, all of them are part-time, and we've worked hard over the years to get them up from probably $8 plus. This will put everybody at $11, and a few, just 2 or 3 or 4, would be maybe a little bit more than that.
Do the ones that work full-time have county insurance?
We don't have any of those at the actual centers are full-time. Now, we've got a full-time center attendant at Haley Road, but the 14 locations, they're all part-time.
But wasn't there one person that he could be on at one point or not?
She's retired.
She retired, okay.
Is this one person does he have access to the county insurance?
At Haley Road? Okay. Yeah, if he's full-time, he certainly does. But he's not right here in this particular place.
Do we allow these guys to be full-time, or are we keeping those positions part-time?
We're keeping them part-time. It's been
They're low enough salary that if you made them full-time and paid benefits, the benefits cost you almost as much as the salary does.
One reason we've been pushing the salary up a little bit every year, trying to get it to.
When I started here 10 years ago, the mayor and I sat down, and at that time we were paying $7.75 an hour to center attendants, and our county to the north of us was paying 10. So we thought we would slowly, a quarter at a time, get there. And so that this one will get them to $11, and Wilson County's at $12.50. We're not going to.
We're probably not keeping up with cost of living increases, though. We're probably falling farther behind all the time, even at the quarter increases we're doing.
Okay, we'll continue on over to next page, 321, a little bit of $10,000 increase in engineering services, and we're going to need that, I guess, for Leanna as we go forward there. Let me see, I don't know if I have many more notes until we get toward the very end there for a little bit of explanation. The rest, that's pretty much continuation.
Let me slow you down just a little. 412 is diesel fuel.
Okay.
We've held that pretty much consistent. Several years ago, our diesel fuel bill was running about $26,000 a month. A while back, it was down to about 12. And
this last month, it was back to 23. We may be off on that, but I'm willing to leave it like it is for now.
Okay, good. 718 on these motor vehicles. Current budget's 170, and we have an increase up to 338,000. That's for 2 roll-off trucks, I believe, and 1 service truck. So there's 3 vehicles in that to make up that increase of about $168,000. Site development, there's $220,000. There's a $200,000 grant, I believe, of which we have to spend what?
It's a $100,000 grant.
But we have to,
It's a 50% match. We'll
Right.
spend 200 to collect.
so that 220 is offset by 100. And solid
We've already voted on that anyway.
Yes, sir, we've already approved the grant.
For Leanne.
For Leanna, yes, sir. Solid waste equipment, we're always having to replace a few boxes, and especially if we expand that center, we'll need several new boxes, but they don't have very many right now. So the recommendation is $3,036,582.
Just keep on going.
Keep on going.
I've got a question. Are there any plans in the near future for any other convenience sites? Are we looking for some? Have we got a problem anywhere that we're aware of?
The only
Most
place
people don't want one.
I've heard some people that do want some, so that's why I'm asking.
We have a piece of property on Florence Road that we think is and we're going to reserve a place to put one there at some point. That it'll be part of this master site plan, a site location there. That's the only one we really identified, and that location is needed.
I've been working 16 years for another site in Leanna, or to improve the one we're on, and I think we're on the verge of it, but
We're going to get that one done.
but I've been working on it the whole time I've been here.
Okay.
And the one, if you've been to the one in Smyrna, the Weekly Lane Center, the one at Leanna will be real similar to it.
Okay. Other waste collection is what we're doing at Haley Road, where all the recycling activity taking place. Again, those part-time people there, we've given them a 50% increase, but really there's nothing here, I don't think, is it, Mr. Nolan, else to take any notice of. The rest of it's just continuation budget on that particular location.
Disposal for the glass and plastic has gone up a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty similar.
Now we go to the landfill operation. That's our C&D landfill that's basically closed. Not closed, but it's not accepting any new debris. And at some point, we'll have to finish all the site work to be sure it's properly covered and all of that business. So the first little page, there's really nothing there. Let's go on over to the second page. You'll notice significant decrease in line item 312, contracts with private agencies has been reduced from 800 to 300. We're not going to be digging dirt and covering and pushing trash like we've been doing constantly. So this is a major reduction in that particular item. And disposal fees, we still have tires. We're taking tires and brush, so we're going to still have those tires to dispose of from now on. A reduction in
We
crushed
charge to take the tires, though, did we not? You get so many a year or something, but like a tire company or something, they pay.
Right.
So this is some of this is passed through.
Yes. If you go to the tire dealer and you buy 4 tires for your car, they'll charge you $1.35 per tire, which is a state fee. They may charge you more than that to help cover their costs as well. The dealer keeps 10 cents. They send $1.25 to the DOR, the Department of Revenue. State of Tennessee keeps 25 cents. They send $1 back to us.
But when that tire dealer comes to you, you don't collect more money from them?
So what happens is we've got 11 tire dealers that actually have tire trailers on location, and they contract with Liberty Tire, which is who we contract with for this transportation. And when they haul that load, we get that bill of those tires.
But an individual brings tires out. How many you got a limited number per year? 10 per year. Above that, you charge. How much is that per
It's
tire?
$1 per tire for car tires, or if you've got a large amount of tires, we'll charge you $65 a ton. That's what it costs us.
So there is some revenue to offset some of this.
Well, it's, income to pay for the outgo.
Yeah.
So some
It's
of
a break
these-
even.
So some of these sites where people have been dumping tires, comes to mind. So a landowner might be in for a pretty good payment there if that's all scooped up at one time.
Right.
They typically dump them on a public road somewhere, and we have to go out there and pick them up.
I got a call today down near Bedford County. There's some on the side of the road, about 40, so we've got to go down there and check that out.
But a licensed tire dealer is paying the disposal fee anyway, so there's no advantage for them to dump them on the side of the road.
They wouldn't know.
New tires, not used tires.
Yeah, yeah.
Used tires,
Used tire distributor, if somebody's got in the used tire shop there,
they're not part of that program.
yeah. So it's not in their best interest to come see you unless they bring their checkbook with them.
And we have a lot of people that do bring their checkbook and bring it.
When you say 10 tires per person, is that for a household, or is that I get 10, husband gets 10?
10 per household.
Household.
But our question is always, why do you have 10 tires to begin with?
Just got 2 cars and a trailer.
Okay, the rest of this, in this particular landfill operation, is not doing anything there of significance. So the total recommendation is $823,385.
I have a question. On line 366, Mac asked, it's for the contract for post-closure care. Mac asked for 300,000 and you recommended.
You're on post-closure care now.
Oh, did we one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just finished the
I'm
other
reading
one.
ahead, sorry.
You're okay. Well, we'll get to your question, but let's go, at line 312, this is the closed class 3 and 4 landfill, which has been closed for many, many years. That's what this is about, this little post-closure business. And you can see contracts with private agencies there has gone from 200 to 400, and we're anticipating some costly means, and we don't know what they are exactly yet.
The landfill was closed in '94 and it's still producing methane and leachate. And there was no design system in there to collect and capture and dispose of and all that kind of stuff. So we do have some environmental issues that TDEC is very well aware of. So they're going to push us to do some drilling and create some new wells and do some other things. So we're guessing at that amount of money. One of the things we've got to do is there's 44 flares that were put up back in the 90s, and you can't buy parts for them anymore. It's a oversized gas grill igniter with a battery and a solar panel, and the thing just sits there and ignites all the time. And if there's gas, it'll light. You can't see it there today. It burns clear, but you can see it at night. So most of them don't work anymore, and you can't even get parts. You can't get replacements for it. So what we're going to do is put basically an attic fan. So what you see, the little whirly bird on top of the house, this is a whole lot smaller version, and it'll be controlled by the wind. There won't be any mechanism other than that. See if it helps bring that gas out a little bit better.
Have we looked, I know a few years back, we actually had something going on with, I guess it was BFI at the time, to actually go in and drill and get the methane in to capture it, I guess is what it was. But we were looked at, is it cost?
We don't think we have enough to make that work. Next door at Middle Point, they did that a few years ago, and their methane's basically a dirty propane. And it was dirty enough that the engines couldn't run on it. So they pulled that equipment out and sent it to another landfill. So they just flare it now and burn it.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
Nice little flame.
Okay, the next item is that 366 that you were talking about there. That's going up from 125 to well, he asked for 300, but we're going with 200. Is that leachate hauling for the most part? We're still pumping leachate out of we suppose it's coming out of this closed landfill, but the whole where we've got a thing is a little bit of ways from there, but that's what that's about.
We've got a company out of Nashville that comes and pumps it and hauls it, disposes of it, treats it and disposes of it for 12 cents a gallon. That's disposal and haul.
So with those increases there on 312 and 366, brings our total to $864,500 for our recommendation.
And that, do we want to talk about it?
The next ones are just normal, they're apart for,
So the total solid waste budget is $5,250,400.
253.
We added $3,000.
Added 3,000. Yes, sir.
Any questions on the entire solid waste budget, any portion?
Yes. The TVs, does it come under the disposal fees in 55,754?
TVs is in other solid waste budget.
Oh, Haley?
In the Haley Road.
And then even if you turn one in at convenience centers, they transfer it to down there?
We don't accept any convenience center. You need to
So
take
you
it
got
straight
to
to.
drive them all the way to Murfreesboro?
Right.
Well, they throw them out in my district on the side of the road.
Well, you're not that far away, are you? Closer than Murfreesboro to me.
That line 312 in the other solid waste collection is for the television disposal. We rebid that last year, wasn't it, Mr. Mayor?
I think so.
And our bid had been 25 cents a pound for televisions and monitors. Our new bid is 33 cents a pound for television and monitors, and 15 cents a pound for fax machines and copy machines and that type of stuff. We've not changed our charge. We're eating the rest of that cost right now.
Now, it's been said it would be a disaster to collect money at the convenience centers for people to throw their garbage away, because it not only be a danger for the handling the cash, but also people just throw their garbage in the ditch. I submit that the same holds true for TVs. Figure out how to pay for it some other way. People would actually take the TVs, and in my opinion, I used to pick up TVs in my district and take them to Haley Road. Now they charge me. I'm not that good of a citizen. I'm not going to pay for somebody else's TV. I still object to the process we have. I'll leave it to the next commissioner in our district to work that out in the next term.
That sounds like a challenge.
You can add on couches too.
Well, if you look at changing it, any action has a reaction. So if we change what we're doing down there, we're going to wind up going back to where we were with all the businesses and other counties bringing it for free. Once we started charging the businesses, you could go ahead and pay for it.
You don't allow
yourself.
businesses dumping a convenience center, you could do the same thing there. You have a limited number of TVs or no commercial tags or something like that.
Believe it or not, some of your constituents won't tell you the truth.
No. Well, we're getting off in the weeds here a little bit. We have any further discussion or motion on the solid waste budget?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Jernigan, any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you,
Mac.
Oh, I hear you have a boat still for sale.
Free vote. Okay, welcome. Emergency management.
How y'all doing?
It'd be back in section 2, I think. Correct? Page 31.
Okay, let me see here. We'll start on that page 31 and let's see what, we just note a few things of significance, a little more money in communications, not significant.
This is kind of a replacement item.
334.
Yes, sir. That's our.
Let me go through here, Bruce.
Okay.
I can run through my own through. 238,000. This maintenance for this equipment we have here, we're paying it 2 years at a time. So you'll notice this year there's only $10,000 in the budget because we've already paid it the previous year. So, but we're going to have for an own year this coming year, and that's the reason that's up. And then just going to go on to the next page, and we'll come down through here. 708 is 298,500, up from 125. But I believe you told us, I have a note here, that should be 248,500. Is that
Yes.
right, Mr.? So that 298,500, they've got a better price on putting a new tower at Eagleville. Okay. And that's really about it. You might say we've taken this other equipment. That's your Homeland Security money, and that money is whatever it is, it is. It comes
Yes.
in and she'll amend that in when it actually happens.
Yes.
So the recommendation would be $1,113,001.
Is you okay with that recommendation? Wishes of the committee.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer. Commissioner Jernigan. Questions or discussion?
How are we looking on these towers? Are plans to expand any more?
No, sir. After we get this one, Eagleville. The reason why I'm wanting to put one up that we own in Eagleville is because out there I'm having to rent space off a commercial tower, and it's costing us $2,000 a month. It's $24,000 a year. For $200,000, we're going to build a tower on the same location that CUD is building a water tank. So they've got about 5 acres, and they offer to let us go there. And Middle Tennessee Electric is going to help us with the what you call the shelter. You know how you built the tower? There's always a building there with all the equipment in it. They're going to provide the shelter, and they're going to do all the electrical. So we're getting this at a really good deal, and we're partnering with the 2 utilities to do it. And honestly, on some of our other towers, they're either using our towers or we're using some of theirs anyway. So, but to answer your question, after this one, I don't see us building any more towers. But I think we need to have a serious discussion. I think the sheriff has mentioned about what comes next. There is some things, everything's going to a digital, what's called trunking, and I'm not the smart guy to sit here and explain it in great detail. But it's something that the sheriff is, we talked to him a little bit about, as well as the other public safety agencies. Basically, the need for information for our first responders grows exponentially every year. What they need right there, and also just being able to keep up with what's going on. And everybody around us is going digital, which means it's going to be that much more difficult to communicate outside of Rutherford County. Some of our city, Murfreesboro is going digital. So it's where everybody's going to. I know we all want to save money, I do too, but this is where we need to be. And the numbers are not going to be comfortable.
We've spent, let's say, somewhere over $2 million of what we've done in the last 10 years. We're talking about 8 to 10 million. And Nick, it's not going to be about towers. It's all about this equipment. It's digital.
The equipment that goes on the
Yeah.
tower.
Yes, sir.
And handheld as well as vehicle-mounted radios are going to have to change. Now, I would tell you, some departments are already buying radios that will do both. They'll do what we need now, and they'll be able to switch to the digital bands as well. Matter of fact, we bought a few of them in EMA. So people's leaning in that direction anyways, but it's the next one that we need to have a discussion about, not today, but it's coming.
What is line 790, other equipment? They've said,
That's the monies we get from the Homeland Security grant. It's simply, they put it in there for that reason.
And we don't know in advance what that's going to be.
Any other questions?
I'll just make a comment. You know, having been a volunteer firefighter for so many years, there's times when you're out and the only way you've got to getting help, and this is true for your ambulance service, this is true for our deputies and our firefighters out, is when you key that mic, you've got to have help. That's what you're keying it for, and 9 times out of 10, and it's scary sometimes if you can't reach a repeater and get out. And that's what this is all about. This is getting people that are having heart attacks and need direction, getting those ambulances in there. This is for firefighters that are looking for another truck to come in and give them directions. This is a police officer that may be being fired on. So I mean, this is not something trivial. It's just being tossed out there.
It's something that worries me all the time, that they're out there by themselves, and when they need help, when they key the mic, something's got to happen, and it's still a long drive. And the other thing is if you spend well and do right with communications, you can gain efficiencies in other areas. You get the right people in the right place. In my opinion, a lot of what we do as first responders in this county is to make up for the fact that we're not sure the communications is going to work right. So maybe we're committing too many resources here versus there. So just my guess.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Cass. Health Department, Ms. Garrett.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good evening.
Be on page
33.
33.
Starts on 32. No, I'm sorry. Starts at the bottom of 33.
33.
Local health center, this is several pieces. That piece is all county employees and all funded by the county. And actually, Ms. Garrett, unless you have something, there's really no significant change here. I know a few little dollars here and there, but the recommendation is $691,338.
It says we're in different places in the book. We might all take these separately. Are you okay with the mayor's recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Page. Any questions or discussion?
That's basically a continuation budget there. So.
No new employees, I mean, it's the same.
No, it's just the only increase is just the benefits have gone up.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Page 35, dental health program.
Exactly the same as current year, $11,850 is the recommendation.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Page. Commissioner Allen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one passes. Other local health.
I will say, when you're there, the alcohol and drug program, it's all zeros. This one, we come back in August and amend with what's left.
There's Mark 2 on my agenda, so that's why.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, page 36.
36, other local health, that is those, this whole 55-190 is funded by the state of Tennessee. There may be a couple of things she wants to mention here, but I think there's one, is there one new position in here on this one or not?
Yes, there was.
A nurse or something?
Yes.
So the recommendation is $2,724,310. And that new position, now that does include.
Is it new that we did this year, or is it coming into next year?
New that we did this year, so I guess it
Okay.
wouldn't be on
It's
this.
not new.
Right,
Yeah.
not new for the coming
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Sorry.
And the
And then 95.
599, at 95,000 on these other charges. You might tell us what it is, but I have a note here that changed that to 52,856. Is that correct?
Yes, so when they first did the contract, we were hopeful that the state legislators would decide to give us the tax dollars again from the tobacco settlement, the small percentage that they had been giving to us to do prevention work. They decided not to do that this year. And we were good stewards of our money, so that 52,000 is what we have left over. Not only were we good stewards, but we showed good results with the programs that we did. So now we should be able to continue them this year, and then we're hoping next year that they will vote to give us those funds again at the local level.
Okay, so with that number in there and with that change to the 52,856, the total is $2,682,166. That's the recommendation.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Ely. Any questions or discussion?
How much was the change?
It reduces down to 52,856.
Oh, the amount, the
Oh,
line
okay.
item is 52. I thought we were reducing it
$2,682,166.
by that amount, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought we were reducing it by that much, but it's going to that much.
Yes, sir.
And on the, just for discussion, on the tobacco grants, you might want to let this group know, you've received subsequent grants because of the outcomes that you've seen here and
Yes.
that other communities haven't. So
Yes,
it's almost
exactly.
like getting money from other towns because you're just doing so well. So-
Right. We were recognized as one of the top 5 in the state of Tennessee for some of the outcomes that we had with our programs. And so they did continue to allow us to ask for those monies and even in larger portions than we've gotten before. So hopefully that will come again. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all's support very much.
We do have a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, Ms. Garrett. Recreation. my favorite one, Mr. Cates. Bring your friend along
Come up
with
here,
you.
Joey.
Make an introduction.
Joey Reed. He is, will be our next recreation director for Rutherford County. And I look forward to turning it over to him.
Mr. Reed, I pity you. Anybody that follows a superstar like Mr. Cates, I say something every year for 16 years, and I'll say it again. He can take a roll of duct tape and 2 basketballs and trunk of a car and do more for more children than anybody in history of Rutherford County. And I've always said it's going to take a staff of half a dozen to take his place. So good luck to you.
Yes.
We look forward to great things from you. But Mr. Cates, I know you're retiring. This is your last time up here. My last time up here.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable the number of kids you've touched over your career. And I just want to say thank you for what you've done. How many years have you been active in sports in this community between coaching and everything else?
Well, I've been doing this for 46 years.
Yeah.
I coached 20, I taught 39, and this will be my 46th year in this.
But I'd say
And I've enjoyed it
I'd say you've
thoroughly.
touched as many lives as anybody in this county probably, and I just want to say thank you for everything you've done.
Well, thank you for saying
And I
that.
will do, my son being one of those lives. Thank you.
Ain't even drive ready, still living too.
Mr. Mayor, you're up.
Well, I'll echo all of that, and he's just done a great job. We really appreciate everything he's possibly done. And knowing him well, he wouldn't leave this unless he's picked the person he's pretty sure is going to be able to carry on what his tradition here that he's put in place. So we're glad to have him with us.
I'll tell you how that started. I was over at Eagleville one day, and we were walking around checking things, and I just turned around, it just hit me. I said, Joey, when I do get ready to retire from this, would you be interested? And he answered it just like that, yes, I would be. So that told me right then that this young man is very interested. He's been at Eagleville 18 years, coached 18. He is really good with young people. That's really the big thing for him and for our program. And I knew he would be the person to take over.
Okay, well, the recommendation here is $605,605, but we will, line item 316 is contributions. Ms. Nolan can tell you about it. That money is her projection off of what we're going to collect off of this hotel motel tax, 5%.
Yes.
And we give that over, that $233,500, we give it over to support the Greenway system. So there are really no other changes of any significance.
And I take it you accept the mayor's recommendation.
I accept it. And I would like to say one other thing, and that is that when I did start with this, the Budget and Finance group just took me along and showed me how to fill out forms and do things. And I'd like to say that that group up there is just wonderful, and has been wonderful to me, working with me and helping me to do. And when I make a mistake, they show me what to do and do it in a nice way, and I really do appreciate that. But this mayor right here has been very good to me and to our program. And I just want to thank him right here with this TV going on, that he has just done an excellent job helping us to do what we try to do. And yes, my father taught me to be conservative, and that's the reason the duct tape works.
Do we have a motion on this budget?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. P. Commissioner Allen. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Cates.
Okay.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Reed. Agriculture Extension, Mr. Tuggle. Anthony, you're not retired. I'm not going to say as much nice things about you as I did Mr. Cates.
I'm a long way from retirement.
All right, this
You know, page
budget's
38.
Page 38, 57,100. The recommendation is $785,519. And actually, there's no change of any real significance. This is very much a continuation budget.
Anthony, you okay with the mayor's recommendation?
Accept the mayor's recommendation.
Wishes of the committee.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner B. Commissioner Jernigan. Questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Total.
Have a good evening.
Soil conservation, that's good, man. Well, be on page 38 and 9.
Okay, let's see here. All right, so this, we've had a, let's just look at this a little bit. The recommendation is $112,049, but line item 103 is an assistant. That person's been there the whole time. We've gone from a part-time person to a,
Full-time.
we amended that even in the current year.
We did it at the end of the year.
Toward the end of the year. So we do have now a full-time person selected. I think they're very happy with. Past that, there's really no changes. I think they feel like they're in a better position of providing the services they think are so important even at this moment. So that's a recommendation.
Ms. Goodman, are you okay with the mayor's recommendation?
We are, and we appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
And our full-time employee has made a world of difference.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Thank you.
budget.
Thank you, Mr. P.
Second.
Mr. Jernigan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Appreciate
Thank
you being here.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mayor, for your support all these years.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate it.
We appreciate what your whole group there, your whole team is doing. It's important.
He helped us start our conservation resources outreach program, crop gardens.
Yes.
Sanitation and waste removal, page 36.
Well, that
Phil, I know which one this
you
one
will
is.
know what that is. That's the large animal removal contract that we've had for a number of years, but even before I got here. But the new firm now, but
Well, the
the
wish
recommendation is 30, whatever.
36, 110.
Okay, thank you.
Page 36.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Commissioner P.
Second.
Commissioner Schaefer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
They've kept it pretty close to what they started at like 33 or something, didn't they?
They've gone up just a very small amount once or twice.
Other public health and welfare, also on page 36.
Well, that's two things. That's our medical director that we have to have, and then that's a number that Ms. Nola has put in there for autopsies, which may, from time to time, has to be amended, but the recommendations for the two of those is $393,000.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Jernigan.
How much does the city's pay to that?
Nothing. That's all on us. Thank you. I think you set us up for that question.
You knew the answer to that
Yeah.
question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Garage, page 40.
Okay. Garage, we still have 3 employees down there, so that hasn't changed. So none of this up there on that bottom part of that page has changed. There's really no change except a few small little changes like utilities are down a little bit, but motor vehicles and other equipment, I don't know when those guys, they ever had a truck, but they've got one that's just about had it. So there isn't a request in here for one service truck, $42,415, and that $6,500 is to put an air compressor and other equipment, whatever they propose they might need on it. So that'll probably last them another lifetime.
We're going to park the Studebaker they're driving
I
now?
don't know, I don't know which one they're driving, but it's, so the recommendation is $324,126, and they're giving us great value for what they're doing.
What did we drop off on the maintenance agreement? It was on 334.
I don't know. And I don't have my other.
We buy a printer or something instead of doing the maintenance agreement.
I don't actually know it.
I don't think we've spent
I
it.
think Laura helped them with this budget, so she probably knows.
That's fine. Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Jernigan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Page 41, employee benefits. Ms. Nolan.
Okay, so this is, the first one is our estimate that we do after everybody picks everything, and if we need extra money, this is the whole. This is a whole for unemployment. Some departments put it in there, but we pretty much wait till the end of the year, and we distribute it out into the year, then we pull from this amount and put it to the departments. Other fringe benefits is the county's portion of the retirees' health insurance. I hope that's enough. I talked to Ms. Stevens, I think we've got 10 plus county general people retiring. And then workers' compensation is our estimate that we've used for several years. So the total is $887,000.
Wishes of the committee.
I'll make a motion to approve that. I mean, that's basically, we've got to have that. And if we're a little bit over, we'll keep the money, so.
Thank you, Commissioner Jernigan. Questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Payment to cities, still on page 41.
This is that we receive payment in lieu of tax from Nissan, and they give us both Smyrna's part and our part together, and so this is the account that we pay Smyrna's part of that.
Per contract. Wishes of the committee.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
Second.
Commissioner Allen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Miscellaneous, still on 41.
Okay, so this is another part, that we do. The 100,000 is our pool gas account for anybody who might be short. 800 is our estimate for judgments. That's for any of the claims that we may have, property casualty problems. And trustees commission, that is a calculated amount based on the revenues that the fund gets. So $2,135,000.
Let's see, gasoline, is that also diesel follow?
It doesn't matter. It's almost like a placeholder. Instead of everybody.
It could be called fuel though, because gas
Yeah,
and all
but,
these.
yeah. We use it for both. Yeah, I don't have fuel accounts.
Sorry, cows probably doesn't have fuel.
On the 505 judgments, is that only casualty or is that liability as well?
I mean, that is it. It's our liability.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Commissioner Haley. So, Commissioner Jernigan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Industrial Economic Development Fund, behind tab 6.
Okay, so the estimated revenue from this is $82,675. This is the interest off 2 notes that we have with the airport authority paying. One is they're paying a bond, one they're paying a note. The appropriation is $199,842. That's our monies that is coming out of this fund and going into our debt service fund to pay the bonds back. The increase to fund balance is the principal part of the note, so we start on our budget, our budgeted fund balance of $15,146. We'll get the principal in, less these expenses, estimating our ending fund balance at $54,518,000. So this account is just
54,000.
What did I say? 54 million?
Yeah. That's a pesky zero on the way.
54,500.
That's a few zeros.
It's a long day. So this is pretty much a clearing account, a clearing fund account. Money's come in, going into debt service.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen.
Second.
Commissioner Peake. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Debt service, general debt service fund, all the way back behind tab 15. And we've got a handout. You gave us with that.
I
Go
did.
that now.
I did. But probably we'll talk about what's in the book and the handout that I gave you. So the estimated revenue for the debt service fund is $51,774,985. Appropriations, $51,591,016. So as presented, our revenues exceed our expenditures by $183,969. The expenditures includes a $600,000 interest payment, which is an estimate for what we will be borrowing next fall. I will go to this now, to jump to this one.
How much did you say we would be borrowing next fall?
Well, okay, so the estimate for next borrowing is on the last page of the handout that I gave you. So this is where we are in May with everything that you have approved. And so with, we're borrowing for Rocky Fork Elementary. That total project was $36,609,000. You've already funded $3.9 million of it. We do have money that is currently in future elementary of $7,584,000. So that's where I start the base at $25,115,000 that we'll need to borrow for Rocky Fork. For that amount of money, we would need $4.56 million to pay Murfreesboro's part of that borrowing. Got Siegel High School, 1.4 to finish that funding, and then Oakland Middle, about the 7th and 8th grade portion. The school's already funded that 6th grade portion. We need to borrow from the 7th and 8th portion. So today, we're at $33,098,000. So there's nothing that's come through committee that y'all have talked about as far as the county general. I don't know if there's something that's going to be done between now and August. I do want to do this borrowing in August, before the mayor leaves.
Interest are going up. It's time enough to be doing the borrowing. Don't look like they're coming back down anytime soon.
The planning, because it's so complicated to go through one of these things, I hated to do that to a new mayor. There's a lot of information that we haven't already caused. I would prefer Mayor Burgess to be there when we handle those. So that's where we are. We talked about, well, I'm going to back up to the front page of this. And I've just got some supporting documents behind it of where I'm coming from. But this is the only fund that I can quickly, because some of the revenues just were received in today, trying to get a better feeling of what might be some of the revenue estimates. And that's like the third page I gave you. It's all handwritten. It's like, what do I think is going to happen? And those are my numbers on the side that I think that we could improve the various revenues. Of course, we'll do that in June. But I'm just trying to get a sense of where are we potentially on our fund balance. So that less trustees commission, I've got our beginning balance, where our book balance is $43,000,007. We're estimating today almost $2.8 million to bring us back to $46,561,000 where we're starting. We would, if we ended that way, our fund balance would be 90% of our appropriations.
Our policy 75, correct?
Well, it rounds between 65 and 75. It's like a four-part calculation.
Policy to me, but it's 75.
We did have it
just
at
already used that number,
75.
but it's spelled out in words, 3 or 4 different little sentences.
It's like four. It's a building block of how we develop the fund balance. It's easier for me to say 65%, 65, 75. We did have a solid 75%, but when things got tight, we were trying to come up with ways, how could we still have a policy and maybe use a little more of our fund balance. So that's how we get to the 65%. So if you remember, and I just want to bring this up, I don't have it. We've done several times where I throw up on the board how much revenue is estimated in the future and what are our borrowings, and we were borrowing $90 90, based on what the schools, 90, 90, 90. Well, unless there's a lot of something coming on that I don't know, we're not going to be hitting 90 million.
Looking at Mr. Savick, see if he's got any surprise.
I think there might be some for land, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know, think around 4 or 5 million.
I mean, we are growing more than a school year still.
So this 33 million could become upper 30s or 40 or something.
But it doesn't take but one school to get
But
30 million.
yeah, another school would double. Another school would double that number.
Dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of the things, and I know it's not come through, but I'm just in my radar is, what are we going to do with the judicial building, the old judicial building? I'm sure that I think that there's somebody looking at it.
Well, it's going to be about another, just guessing here now though, $500,000 to $800,000. We'll need that much money soon before the end of the year.
Potentially get something like that out of development tax
Yeah.
or something like that, instead of having to pay for that over 20 years.
How's our litigation tax doing when it got doubled? Is it,
That's pretty good. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that was another thing I wanted to touch on. When you go to that sheets that I passed out to look at the revenue, how it's playing out, that is account 40266, litigation tax, jail, and workhouse. I'm estimating that we're going to get 200,000 more than what we borrowed, than what we budgeted for. One thing that is going down is the litigation tax is almost 600. I'm going to reduce down. When the circuit court clerk changed tenses, every single fee, fine, everything was looked at is, where did it come from? You know, where is the authority that gives it? And then where should it be accounted for? This one, I could not find any indication why that particular, in the old system, was coming into debt service. So that money, it's here, but it's now in the general fund. But I think overall, even without it here, we're gonna still have a.
That's not considered part of the status.
No, this is just different litigation taxes that the courts are collecting.
Okay.
But it's not related that I could find any way to debt like that jail workhouse one. That is specific for debt.
so you're saying it can be used for other things?
Yes, yes.
Well, how about, Charlie could probably tell us right off the bat, but refresh my memory on how much we've put into property tax money into debt service.
How much we've got in there?
Well, no, how much we shifted in the last couple of years.
Oh my goodness.
We shifted a little bit the last 2 years, and my recollection
Two
is last
from
year
the-
it might have been just one
Just
penny,
one.
but the year before that it was more like,
Well,
I thought it
two
was more
from
like
the-
5 or 6
Yeah,
pennies.
2 from the county general, and how
Maybe
much was
3
from
from
schools?
schools.
Yeah.
Because in that shift was, I think, 5 cents, wasn't it?
We had a recommendation, came back and added 2 more on top of that.
Because they
That year
moved
before last,
money.
we went from moving so much to a couple extra. And last year we got another one.
They moved money out of their GPS to help fund additionally in their capital projects and debt service. Do you remember?
What do you mean, the next question, what do you mean by almost certified? How close is that?
It's supposed to be this week. So I'm
And
hoping,
you don't think it's changed much from there, from the info that you've gotten from them? I mean, it didn't get messed up on the way or anything like that?
We haven't got more info, have we?
nothing that I can share.
And we'll sort of, and I ought to know this, Board of Equalization, they come in and say wholesale changes. Does that change our certified rate, or are we stuck with the rate they
We're stuck with the
certified that
rate
day?
you guys said, we're
I
stuck with
didn't
that.
think it fluctuated, yeah,
But
but I
it
know what
wouldn't.
we said, but the state tells us what a certified rate is.
Well,
And the Board of
we
Equalization
calculate it.
won't be meeting till after that fact, though, will
Well, we'll start June the 1st, but all of those appeals that are made, those that we lose and don't win, it will have the effect of reducing revenue. It won't change the certified rate.
they won't take another look at it before
No.
July 1st. Because that will more than likely, will at least be some changes, hopefully not wholesale changes, and that would be revenue
There
out.
is some process whereby one can project what the appeals reduction might be and change the certified rate, but if it didn't turn out that way, you've got to go back and undo all of that. It sounds a little messier than one wants to fool with, really.
Well, but it burned Metro this last year with $25 million less in tax revenue.
Yeah.
So it can be a problem.
And you know, and they're jumping up in this county. We knew that.
Okay, so I found it. I remember 5 cents. It was in 2016. Between the 2015 and 2016, we reduced 5 cents out of schools and reduced 2 cents out of county general. And we increased 6 cents to the 6 cents to debt.
Okay, so where'd the other penny go? Did
The
that go
other
to
penny
ambulance?
went to school capital projects.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Is this your recommendation
Yes,
for us to approve? Or?
yes. I mean, that's my estimate for revenue and my estimate for appropriations.
You're not recommending moving any pennies or anything at this time?
No,
Okay.
that can be another discussion.
I knew it
Well,
was coming,
you
but I
opened
don't.
that up.
I was waiting for it to come, but it says right here, yeah.
That you brought it up. But that's my recommendation for revenue and appropriation.
Does that mean we need a motion to approve the recommendation for the general debt fund
I'm
service?
taking for granted what it does. We've approved every other recommendation tonight, so
I make the motion.
thank you, Commissioner Schaefer.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Baum. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. But there could be a discussion at a later date about moving a penny.
That's up to
I'm just seeing
y'all.
it coming here, and I just don't,
That's up
I'd
to
rather
y'all.
get some
I
of this
mean-
conversation out here right now if we're gonna talk about that.
Well,
At least we have minds thinking that way, because I'm saying this, I know the way your mind thinks, and you're thinking we're adding a little bit here, we ought to move a penny or two to general fund or something
Well,
like that, but, so I mean,
I wasn't going to say anything. I wanted to hear school board.
I know it's coming.
Well, I've
The school
wanted to
boards-
move
We gotta get the
pennies
school, but yeah.
in the opposite direction of
Yeah, I know,
Ms.
I know it.
Nolan. But I actually am satisfied that this account is in better shape than we found it in maybe 2 years ago. So I'm not planning on recommending moving more pennies into this account. I think we've got it in
I
good
think
shape.
she's gonna be, might be.
She wants to go in the other
moving some out, so
direction, but
I wanna get this fight out of the way, so I wanna do.
Oh, there's no fight. There's no fight.
But we can
But
wait and see.
tomorrow is the school
We
boards.
can get the information tomorrow night, and at least we can know there may be a conversation coming, is all I'm just seeing and handwriting on the wall.
It's pretty evident that, not this year, we don't have to, but next year you probably have to put something into the ambulance fund. We've just barely staying away from getting down to zero
But they've got
this
their
year.
new transport service is gonna make
Well,
a
that-
boatload of money.
But that's-
If that makes, then maybe that'll do it. I hope so.
Yeah.
The only concern I have
You can wait till next year.
is how quickly will the money come in for the money going out? That's the concern I have.
But if you remember,
Well, I mean, for the new thing, I mean, it's going to take a while. I mean, you'll have expenses out, but then how quickly does it come
We
in?
gotta build up our business, you might say.
Is there anything else that's coming for us tonight?
if you remember 12 years ago, when the bottom dropped out because of the big increases in 2006. What we did, we went down to what, 235 or something like that, from 281 or something. Wound up going up, before we left at 5 o'clock, we went back up to 244, if I'm not mistaken. And that was because there was some problem with the reappraisal.
We have got the meeting tomorrow night. School board, health ed committee, and the budget committee will all meet at 5:30 at the school board office. That's where the rubber will really meet the road. And after that, we'll be back here Wednesday night at 5:30 to carry on. And if nothing else comes for us tonight, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
They gave us the other night, so this is